What's up, guys? Welcome back to the vlog. We are back home with the Audi R8 7 weeks after we dropped it off at AMS Performance bone stock. I can't believe all of this has happened in 7 weeks. We had an amazing weekend at TX2K21. We're gonna give some people some rides now that the car's home, and I'm gonna tell you all about the plans we have for the car from this point forward. We had one hell of a weekend last weekend at TX2K. You guys probably saw some of the passes in our daily highlight videos. If you haven't seen those, check out the links in the description. But I want to give you the full recap of everything we got to do with this car this weekend, because it was a blast. So we're here the day before TX2K, and the AMS transport just showed up here with my car. They had to pull the drag Lambo off to pull it out. It's time to see it with the bumper on. I can't wait. That's sick.
A little more sauce, come on!
Damn! It's official. The car is done. It's time to have some fun with it. Quarter mile 926, 155. That's pretty much exactly what I was hoping to run, because that's like medium boost on setting 3, 155 miles an hour. That's only 5 mile an hour off the Unicorn, and it just made it look so easy. 60 foot is a 170, and we're on Michelin Pilot Sport 4S's, so it's just a street tire, not a sticky tire. 8th mile is a 614, almost in the 5s already. First pass out.
923, backing up that 926 from earlier.
All right, time slip says 923, 157. So we picked up a little bit of mile an hour, dropped a little bit of ET, and the 60 foot was better, so we're making good progress. The track's just so sticky that this street tire is wheel hopped, felt like worse on that last one. And the bad part about that is that's when you break parts, so we don't want that. The next day on Thursday was testing and qualifying for the roll race competition. And based on last year's qualifying mile an hour I'd looked at, I wasn't confident that I would qualify high enough to be in eliminations the next day. After my test pass and the first qualifier, I was desperate to figure out a solution to the crazy wobble I had experienced on the top end at over 170 miles an hour, getting shaken back and forth. I had a decent qualifying pass at 176 miles an hour my first qualifier, but we still had a lot more in the car, but the tire shake was so bad that I had to figure out a solution. And when Martin looked at the logs afterwards, he noticed that it was a quarter of a G left and a quarter of G to the right, so a half G back and forth violently all the way up to 176 miles an hour. Before my second and last qualifying pass, I was talking with the Go Auto Performance crew that was pitted next to the AMS trailer. They introduced me to one of their customers, Cacho, who had a black R8, and loaned me his rear wheel setup that happened to have R888s on it. Martin decreased the traction control aggressiveness in the Motec, and I hopped in the lanes for my last qualifier. Unfortunately, I botched the start, hit the anti-leg at the wrong time, and that threw me off. I shifted manually, which caused the transmission to short shift, but I still managed to go 174 miles an hour. The good news was that the wobble was gone, and even better news was that my first qualifying pass at 176 landed me in the third group for eliminations on Friday. I was freaking hyped. I was going into eliminations at the first TX2K I've ever competed at. Friday morning, I was paired up first with a 1,050 horsepower Audi TT RS from IROS Motorsports. The car qualified 1 mile an hour faster than me, so it was time to try out map 5 of 5 for the first time. The big challenge was not to break out because I turned the car up and had stickier tires. No one in the class could go over 183 miles an hour, so if I was ahead of the other car, I needed to let out. The TTRS had issues during the race, so at the end of the track I let out a few hundred feet early. For round 2, I lined up next to a beautiful Porsche from AIM Performance that had qualified a couple miles an hour faster than I did. During the race, the Porsche had some issues on the hit, so I was on the brakes again to avoid braking out. I couldn't believe it, I was on my way to the semifinals. In the semifinal race, I was several cars ahead, so I lifted early once again to make sure I wasn't over 183 miles an hour. We're going on to the finals. For the final race, I lined up with a Sissio Performance GTR north at 1200 horsepower. This car was pretty intimidating looking with the slicks on the back. My main goal was to be under power before he was when the green light came on. Unfortunately, I just didn't have enough power to keep up with the GTR, but did manage to set the record for the TX2K highest mile an hour ever in existence, 855 miles an hour. Competing at TX2K for my first time was an awesome experience. It was very eye-opening to see the event from behind the wheel and going through eliminations. The biggest challenge for me was the rolling start and getting that down. The 400 feet distance you have to pair up at 65 miles an hour is extremely challenging. I really give the drivers of the 2,000 horsepower monsters that managed to do this at the event a lot more credit than I used to.
There it is.
Alright, so now that the car is back home, we're gonna have some fun with it. I gotta give some people some rides, find some of the people that I gave rides to stock and see what they think about it now that it's got turbos on it. But also we have to get ready for the next event with this car, which is the Kansas Airship Attack, April 17th. It's a half-mile runway, so we'll see how close we can get to 200 miles an hour. I think the car will go over 200. In order to be able to go over 180 though, we have to put a roll bar in the car. So we're gonna be taking that to a shop next week. And I'll be making a video of that and what goes into making the roll bar for this thing. Also, we clearly need to get a new windshield. I'm not looking forward to seeing how much that costs. In the last run, you guys saw that the windshield cracked. We have to talk to Audi about warranting that wiper that won't stay down 180 miles an hour. I still gotta get some tires. That was clear that that needs to happen before the half mile. And I gotta decide on wheels. So we'll figure those out along the way, but let's go give some people some rides. First up is the merch crew that absolutely killed it at TX2K this weekend. We had a record weekend of sales. They worked their asses off, and it took a lot of preparation on their part between Kenton, Alex, and Brandon. They just did an amazing job. So we're gonna get them some rides as a big thank you. Brandon's been in the car at low speeds. I gave him a little taste of what this thing's all about, but we're gonna give him a full test on this car so you can see why I'm in love with this thing.
That is fun. Holy cow.
Yeah.
That's nothing.
That's hitting 3 of 5.
Nice little test
I started going like this. I'm like, we're a little light right now.
Oh, holy cow.
I'll wake you up in the morning.
Yeah, definitely.
Next up is Alex. Did you ride this when it was stock?
I did not, just Morgan.
Okay. So you get the full experience right off the bat.
Skip step 1, straight to step 2.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Oh my god. Yes. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
Oh my god.
Let's see what she does. Stop.
I was tired before this, but not anymore.
That definitely wakes you up.
Suck it, Morgan.
She might have ridden it stock first. Our next victim is Tom from High Impact here in town, makes all our stickers. Did I give you a ride in this stock?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I couldn't remember. Oh yeah,
Yep,
of course
you did.
Yep, I do remember that.
Yep.
Alright, this will be like a 1100 horsepower setting.
That's all.
The roads aren't gonna do anything, aren't gonna put down anymore. It was 500 when you were in it last time.
Holy sh! Wow. Yeah, I've never felt that before. I've got big block Chevelles, and
Yeah.
I've never felt anything like that. I've been driving big blocks since I was 15, and
Oh yeah.
it's nothing hooks up like that.
And it's smooth.
Yeah.
All right, now that we've had some fun with the car, it's time to head to Rebellion Forge Racing with it so we can get the roll bar put in so we're ready for the Kansas half mile in just a couple weeks. Gotta let them know we're here. How's it going?
What's up?
Good to see you.
How's it going?
Good.
This is it. This is the shop.
Nice.
A little unorthodox project going on.
Fabricate just about anything.
Yeah, for the most part. So,
You do just about anything that has to do with metal and welding.
metal, welding, paint, body, 3D CAD design, laser cutting stuff,
Nice.
just whatever.
So where do we start with fitting a roll bar for this thing?
So, first things first, you want to make sure that your seat is where it's going to be when you're driving.
Yep, I've been very particular about being comfortable. in
Nothing
that.
is worse than like building a cage and then going to get in the car and like getting your seat adjusted and it like smacks the cage and,
Yeah.
and you're just uncomfortable every time you drive.
You can't recline the
It
cage.
sucks. No, the cage doesn't move. Once it's in, it's in. So probably toss this first bend like right around 30 inches.
Okay.
It's gonna come in right, basically like right where the top of this sill is,
Okay.
and then it'll dive in towards the
Cut over from there.
So I have this template, and then I just put in the measurements. All right, there you go. That's it.
That was easy.
That's
So you got the main hoop.
that's the hoop, and then like the harness bar and the diagonals, I'll just do them. I'll just do them by hand. Then it tells you like you need to cut a piece of tube 92 inches and 0.058, and then where to bend it, and then how much to bend it. So it's 36 degrees, and then 54, 54, 36.
Huh, that makes it pretty easy.
Yeah.
Now that we got this all figured out in CAD, what's the next steps?
So we'll go back to the car, pull the interior to get access to what we need to get access to, make those mounting plates on the floor, and figure out where they're going to bolt to, and then from there we'll go bend this hoop up, get it set in the car, figure out like what angle it needs to be at, and then get that cut and welded to those mounting plates.
Gotcha. So build the crossbars in and whatnot.
Yep.
All right, well, we'll see you tomorrow.
Sweet.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So now that the car's at Rebellion Forge Racing, we've looked at the measurements, we've looked at where the bar should go. I called up Schroth Racing to find out what kind of harnesses would be best for my application, and we hit a bit of a snag. The issue we're running into here, let me show you. On my stock seats here, most race seats have like, you know, the harness pass-throughs here, so your harness bars or your harnesses can come from the roll bar through over your shoulders. The one thing I didn't think about that the Schroth guys mentioned is if you're in a frontal collision, everything moves forward and the seat is designed to move forward to cinch the seatbelt up on you, and the seatbelt pulls back. That gives the potential for the racing harnesses to actually spread out on the headrest right here. So if it pulls forward, it could spread those out around my shoulders. So now that means I need a different seat. Well, there's a few different options. Let me show you what we're working with here. There is a factory seat that comes with pass-throughs, even though they're pretty ugly. Here's what we got from the factory. I could have the red diamond stitching added into here potentially. I've been looking around. There are some Recaros that a guy customizes in Spain, or I'm sorry, Poland, that has, you can make the red diamond stitching. This is actually for RS3, but same idea. And then we also have the option of going with like a race seat. AMS sells these which are a carbon seat, way lighter. The problem is they don't have any airbags in the seats. These do have airbags that work with the factory system. And if it were just a race car, then that would be easy because I'd just be at the track, I'd be in a helmet with harnesses every time I was in the car. But we're gonna be driving the crap out of this thing, so I need the factory airbag system to work in case I'm in an accident on the street. Really what it boils down to is it's too much to rush right now to get ready for the half mile. So unfortunately that means I'm gonna be stuck at 180. We're gonna skip the roll bar for now just to make sure that I can do this right and make the car look good, because I don't wanna have issues with the airbags if I'm in an accident, and I don't want the car to look horrible with new seats in it. But for now, I'm gonna cut this video short. Unfortunately, we won't be putting the roll bar in on this video. We'll be doing that in the future, so we'll be back to visit Kyle at Rebellion Forge Racing. Thank you for the time, Kyle. But for now, make sure to subscribe because we're gonna have plenty more videos of the R8. And next up, we've got the half mile in Kansas. We're gonna have a ton of fun. So we'll catch you guys next time.
Bye.